Well, we are now 3 weeks from Election Day, and early voting is already underway as we closely follow those key races here in Ohio and also across the country, as the midterms could set the stage for the presidential race in 2024. Joining us now is Dr. Lee Hanna, an associate professor of political science at Wright State University. Dr. Hanna, thank you for joining us. We'll start with our Senate race right here in Ohio. Last night, J.D. Vance and Tim Ryan took the debate stage for that second and final time ahead of Election Day. And one of our exclusive Emerson College The Hill polls showed that race essentially a dead heat. The seat formerly held by Republican Rob Portman. So what do you anticipate with that race, and how will the outcome impact Ohioans?
Yes, this is the tightest race in Ohio, clearly by kind of all the data that we have. And the candidates are really coming down to the wire. I would say it's pretty surprising given the national environment and the strength of Governor DeWine as an incumbent. It's pretty remarkable that Ryan is even in this position, to be honest, but he has tried to distance himself from Biden as much as he can. He's tried to play up, some issues that are important to Ohioans, particularly some of these issues with business interest and industry in the area, and that's made him competitive in a year where Republicans are set to be in pretty good shape across the country.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one to predict, so we'll keep an eye on it. In the meantime, the Senate race in Georgia has garnered a lot of attention, many times for things that have nothing to do with policy. What are your thoughts on that race, and how might it change the political landscape?
Sure. So this race was, in 2020, Georgia actually had two races and then runoffs because of the way their constitution works, where you have to win a majority of votes, not just the most votes. And so now Warnock, with just 2 years experience, has to turn back around and face Herschel Walker, who, of course, is, kind of a statewide hero. This is a race where the conditions are pretty decent in Georgia for Republicans as well. Brian Kemp is running ahead and fairly comfortably of Stacey Abrams. But the difference here is really in candidate quality, where had pretty much any kind of middle of the road Republican been the candidate, the Republicans would probably be looking to pick up a seat from the Democrats. But Herschel Walker's personal life and some of his statements, his appearance in the debate, they've all just created huge liabilities and really made this a toss-up, if not a slight lead for Warnock.
Trying to fit it all in here. About 30 seconds left. A lot of people also watching Pennsylvania. You have Fetterman and Oz. What's going on with that race?
So that's an open race. So whenever an incumbent steps down, it's a little more competitive. That's also happening here in Ohio, of course. This is the best chance for Democrats to pick up a seat. It's a 50-50 Senate. So if they can actually flip one, then that gives them some room to lose a seat somewhere and still hold the majority in the Senate. So John Fetterman running against Dr. Oz. Fetterman, longtime politician; Oz, outsider, celebrity, and there it's also about as competitive as it is here, with Fetterman with a slight lead.
All right, certainly a lot to break down. We're going to have you back on here. Dr. Lee Hanna, an associate professor of political science at Wright State University. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thanks, Brooke.